Yeah.
Go Gators.
Go Gators! And I am, as Wyatt mentioned, I'm also the co-chair of the advisory board of the Castro LGBTQ Cultural District. And I think I would say that I got interested in Castro history when I was working on my PhD at UC Santa Cruz. It was in sociology. And that work was focused on a neighborhood contestation in the late 90s and early 2000s over the attempts to place a shelter for LGBTQ unhoused youth in the Castro. And I did my dissertation research on that debate and community struggle. And as I was trying to kind of understand what was going on at that time in the debate, like why people were, there was a bunch of people in the neighborhood that did not want a shelter for queer homeless youth in the neighborhood, and then a bunch of people who did and who were supporting it. And so in my attempts to try to understand both of those aspects, I had to look to history. And so trying to kind of understand like the ways in which people were not only like talking about the issue, but debating the issue, and also the power structures in the neighborhood that made it. So not just unhoused youth, but all youth, and pretty much anyone who didn't fit into the cis adult white male persona or system of power did not really feel included in the neighborhood. To understand that at that contemporary moment, I had to look to history, and that was kind of the first time as an academic that I really emphasized history in my work, to kind of look at the precursors of that and the ways those dynamics were built into the neighborhood. And so that was quite a long time ago now. And so my kind of current interest in Castro history really came about through my work in the cultural district, and the district asking myself and Gerard to author a short historical context statement for their chest report for the city. And that's kind of when my engagement in Castro history got much more expansive than it had ever been before.
And let me first say, I also want to thank Jen. It's been such a treat working with Jen on this project over the last 3+ years. It's always wonderful to find a collaborator who you're really on the same wavelength with and who really pushes you to do better work. So my name is Gerard Koskovich. I'm a founding member of the GLBT Historical Society, which celebrated its 40th anniversary this year. And I was a graduate student at the time, and that gets you back to when I started really working on LGBTQ history in 1981 at Stanford. I was one of a group of students that founded a lesbian and gay archives project at the university to start documenting the university's history. And even before that, I was very interested in queer history. I started asking questions about the Castro when I first came here at the age of 19 in 1976, my first visit to the neighborhood, and subsequently as a freelance journalist for The Advocate, for the Bay Area Reporter, for other publications. I did stories about the Castro, and just gradually began to start thinking about the neighborhood as a place, as a phenomenon, as an imaginary space for people around the world, and began asking what was its past and how could we conceive of that past. So when the district invited Jen and I to look into working on the history of the Castro, my first reaction, I'll be honest, was, well, hasn't that already been done, really? But then if it had been, I probably would have known about those sources. So oddly, other cities and other LGBTQ neighborhoods, there have been books written about them going back 25 or 30 years. And the Castro is the one neighborhood nobody's really done it for yet. So lots of articles and books where the Castro is mentioned, but no full-scale research. So thanks to the district, Jen and I put this booklet together with the help of literally hundreds of people, sending us sources, sharing their memories, sharing photos, giving us pointers. And once we got done, we looked at it and said, this is a great little publication, and it's also the book proposal for a 500-page book. And we all have leads to the sources for that. And so stay tuned. In 2 or 3 years, you'll be back here for this times 6.